Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Carissa and this is Carissa's Bread Basket. And I just want to say that today is going to be part 2 of teaching everyone how to make my classic sourdough loaf. And so if you haven't seen the first part, I encourage you to go find that video on my channel. And that way you can be caught up and up to date on what we're doing today. And I also want to say welcome to you if you're brand new. I appreciate you being here. I hope you enjoy what you're going to learn. And I'm looking forward to seeing our finished product. I can't believe that it's been a week. Today is a week since we started our sourdough starter, and I filmed every day this week and posted. And I never expected that this would be something that I would do. I'm absolutely loving it, and I'm hoping that I'm helping everyone that's watching. So let's get started. It is time to go ahead and get our dough shaped, and then we are going to cold proof it in the refrigerator. So this is my loaf Banneton basket. I'm hoping that I'm saying that correctly. But that is where our loaf is going to rest tonight while it finishes what it needs to do to become bread. And this is super satisfying, so I'm going to let this happen. And this is what it looks like. You've got bubbles everywhere, and then it just slides right out of your bowl. That means that it is ready. It has gotten bigger, so it's doing great. And then now what we're going to do is shape it. And what I like to do, because you want to get a lot of surface tension, because you want it to have a good rise while it's in the oven, I'll teach you how I do this. Just going to make it a rectangle shape. And then you're actually going to go halfway this way and then halfway this way. And then we're going to do this and pull. And then we're going to actually bring this together. And then we're going to roll, because you want this to be tight. Same thing on that side. And then we're going to tuck the ends in. And there you have your loaf shape. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to let this sit for about 10 minutes. So that way it can develop a little bit of a crust on the top. And then we'll put it in here upside down. We're going to put the seal on the bottom and wrap it in. Actually, I put mine in like a gallon Ziploc bag, and then it just sits in the fridge. We'll probably keep it in there until about, it's 3 o'clock now, so it'll probably be in there from the time I put it in until tomorrow morning about 6 is whenever I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven and bake it. All right, it's been about 10 minutes. The reason that I put flour in here was so that way that it wouldn't stick to it. And that's another reason why you let it get a little crust on it. I'm going to use this little tool to kind of get up underneath it and get some more tension created. And then we're going to stick it into our basket. Like putting it in bed. Reminds me of Moses and the basket. And then we're just going to pinch this together as best as we can. Sometimes it just comes right back apart, but that's okay. We're just creating more tension. That's what you want to do. Just like that. And then that's what it looks like. Kind of jiggly. That was another thing I meant to show you. It should jiggle like Jello. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to cover it with this blanket and put it in bed for the night. I'm going to try to close that one more time. Okay, so we'll put this in here. It doesn't have to seal shut. What I do is I usually just do that, and then I just close it as much as I can. And it's perfectly fine because it's covered. Okay, so this has been sitting in the fridge since 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and it's 7 o'clock this morning. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off. And then it's okay that there's a little bit of moisture on this. That just happens. I have lined my bread pan with parchment paper. My goal is someday to get parchment paper liners. I think that is amazing. Haven't invested in those yet, but I want to. But this makes cleanup a whole lot easier. So what you're going to do is just put this in your hand, and then you're going to lay that down. And then I take a minute and just kind of reshape it a little bit. I kind of press it down and just kind of get it to fit the pan a little bit better. And so you can take time to do that if you want to. And then this is called a lane. This is actually what we're going to score the bread with. The purpose of scoring is because as the crust rises, it will actually bust somewhere because there's so much pressure, and it needs to relieve that. And so this will help it to do exactly what you want it to do. You can, what I like to do is hold it at a 45-degree angle, and you're just going to cut about ½ inch in, and then just come on around. And this is what gives you what's called a beautiful ear whenever it pops open in the oven. And then I just kind of do a little bit of a design. These actually turn out looking kind of like hearts, which is kind of cool. All right, so that is what it looks like right now. And so now what we need to do is to spray some, and this is filtered water. I do want to remind you that if you don't have well water, or if you don't have bottled water, you want to make sure that you use filtered water, because the chlorine will actually kill the bacteria that's in the sourdough. You don't want that to happen. So we need to create some steam. So we're going to put some filtered water inside of our pans. And I do want to say too, I have had the oven preheating at 500 degrees for probably 30 minutes. And I recommend that you do that. Make sure that your oven is nice and hot, because what's going to happen is you're going to sit this in, and it's going to create some steam whenever you cook it for the first 25, 26 minutes. And then you're going to take the lid off, and then we're going to bake it for the last, I usually do like 10 minutes at a time and just kind of watch it. I stick my digital thermometer into it and make sure that we're on track to not burning, things like that. So, all right. So the next step is to put this in. After 25 minutes and my timer went off, I went ahead and took the top bread pan off, and it is looking absolutely amazing. Got a great rise. Everything looks great. So what I do is I turn it the other way and I put it back in, and then I either put aluminum foil or I put a cookie sheet underneath it on the bottom rack. This just prevents it from burning on the bottom. Turn the temperature down to 475. After 10 minutes, I check it again. And this time I want to make sure that it's not getting too done on the top. And so I'll either put parchment paper on top of it, just lay it loosely on top, or aluminum foil. And then again, I turn it around and put it back in, and then wait another 10 minutes. Now it's time to take it out after the 10 minutes and check the temperature. We use a digital thermometer for this, not a digital scale. If you saw my previous video, you get a kick out of that. The temperature that you're wanting is 210 degrees. And I usually do it straight down in the middle and at least one on the side, just to make sure that we're there. And it was almost there, but not quite. And you want it to be all the way there. Sometimes I even take it to 211, 212. All right, now is the time for the moment of truth. That was about 5 minutes that I set that time because of how close that it was. and it looks absolutely beautiful. So 210, and it is ready to go. The next thing that you want to do is take it out of the bread pan and put it on a cooling rack for about an hour. You want it to be cool when you cut into it. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's been following me on this journey this week. From the starter, making that with the yeast and the water, to 7 days later, having a loaf of bread. And it's just amazing to me. You know, you take things from the earth, it's just flour and water, and you mix them together, and in 7 days, I mean, it just blows me away every time. And so I just wanted to kind of show you the crumb, and I love the sound that the crust makes. So cool. But I'm going to go ahead and try a little piece and show you guys. I love that hard crust. So beautiful, and it just, there's just something about it. So thank you everybody for being a part of this. And I just encourage you to share the videos. You know, I want to help people. You know, to me, we literally made this bread with flour and water, salt, and starter, sourdough starter, which is just flour and water that's been fermented. So, you know, it's awesome. Just, you just have to try it, you know. I know it's not for everybody, but you just never know. You may love it. I hope you guys have a great day. And here's to sourdough. Perfect.